And you can see the screen?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, good. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. There may be some people joining late, but if so, they can catch up. Anyway, today's webinar topic is how to collect information from your students and tutors. You can basically have students enter information or pick information about their experience in the center or with the tutor, or for that matter, whatever else you want to collect. We'll show you other ways to build surveys. You can also have the tutors enter information in various places about their experiences with the student. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about how to set up how to create session notes, how to view your session log, how to create a session questionnaire, and again we'll talk about feedback where you can get on the activity or the tutor. That's called a tutor evaluation survey. We're going to talk about Survey Manager, which is another way for you to build surveys above and beyond what you can do with activity and tutor surveys. And finally, we're going to discuss seminars. Since there's not too many of us on right now, if you have questions along the way, I think we could probably answer them as we go. If that starts getting to be too much, what you could do is just write your questions down there, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. Okay, so we're going to get started, and the first thing we're going to discuss is the session log. And the session log is basically where you enter notes. Typically, the tutor would go in and enter notes about their experiences with the student. However, an administrator can go in and enter any session notes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to CY, and he'll discuss the session log.
All right, thank you, David. So first feature that we're going to talk about today is session log. So why don't we sign in as an admin and go to the system administration screen. All right. So that's basically what you see when you sign in as an admin. As you may notice, we're using version 12 now. Version 12 is out. So if you're interested in version 12, you can always contact us or the sales. Okay. All right. So session log. So how do you get to session log? It's very easy. It is right here. Okay, by itself. All right. So what you need to do is just click on it, and you will see this screen. It's called the sessions log screen. All right. So here you see the table here. You'll be able to see some session logs here based on your filters. So let's say if I would like to see today only, and I don't care what student, what category or activity or tutor at this moment.
It's the same.
Yep, it's just the same. It's showing August 29th today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different sessions for 5 different students. Okay, as you can say. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. And on this screen, you can tell I have some logs here for different students, and some of them, if you can look at the down bottom here, this box here. I highlight this one, I will see some comments, about this session. If I highlight Mike, I will see another comment, etc., etc. Oh, okay. So Teresa doesn't have a session comments here. So if I would like, let's say I'm an admin now, so I would like to add some comments about, Teresa. What I need to do is just click on the button at the bottom here, or edit comments. All right, and then just type some comments. Okay, David is typing right now. Teresa is doing a great job. Excellent. Okay, thank you. So after you're done typing, or what you need to do is just click on Save Comments, and it's saved, and it will stay there. All right. As you can tell, it's right here. Okay. And let's say if you would like to delete the comments, very simple. Just click on Delete Comments after you highlight the one that you want to delete. Okay. Also, the comments, it doesn't have to be that short. You can keep typing. I don't think there's a limit in this box. You can just keep typing, and you can generate a report after that. Okay. Also, you can email the comments to your instructors. Okay. So let's say if I would like to email comments, I click on Email Comments button at the bottom. Okay, it will pop up this box asking email the selected comments to the instructor, and I say yes, and it will automatically send the email to the instructor that associates to this session log here. And it was Woody Allen. However, it had David's email, so it's still going to David's email. All right. And you can actually, define the email of your instructors by going to set up instructors there. Okay. Also, we can print out comment. Okay. I click on print out comment, and it will pop up a message: print out session log, and you can say yes, no, Okay. There are some other neat features, like you can click on this one here, chat box here. Only shows sessions with comments. So if you have that chat, it will only show the sessions with comments, which I think everyone has comments here. So that's why it's showing everyone. It doesn't change it. Didn't change it. I can try another one. Refresh it. Alright, so now it's only shows sessions with comments for all, that means like all my database. If I uncheck that, it generates a lot. You see that some of them don't have comments. Alright, just want to let you know that there's an option there. Okay. Also, if you're only interested in, one particular, tutor, you can always right-click on the name. Oh, excuse me. Let's say I'm interested in Morgan Freeman only. I can actually right-click on this name and filter exact value, and it will only display Morgan Freeman's session logs. And then if you want to clear that, you can just clear filter, and it will show everyone's again that has sessions with comments. Same thing if you're interested in tutoring, you can do the same. Same thing for ID, you can do the same. Filter, exact value, so it will only show like strips. And if you want to clear it out, just say clear filter. All right. All right, that's about the session logs right here. You guys can notice that there's another button here, Session Questionnaire. And I will pass it to David.
Okay, thank you, CY. And again, remember, this is Tutor is taking session notes on their experience with the student. Now, we're logged in here as an administrator, but typically what you would do is sign in as a tutor to take those session notes. So I'm going to sign in as Morgan Freeman here. And I've got session log right here. So when I click on that, I'm seeing less. The reason being, I am only seeing my own sessions. So somewhere in here it should say Morgan Freeman right here. So it's only going to show mine. I'm not going to see the ones for other tutors. Okay. And again, that's logging in with a tutor ID, and we call this the tutor pad. So that's where I would take my session notes for my own sessions. Same thing with reports would only be for me. If I wanted to view appointments, those would be for me. So everything I see here is specific to me as a tutor. Okay? Okay, and now we'll go back, see what I was talking about here. We have session questionnaire. Okay, and this is just another way to collect information, remember, from the tutor about the experience with the student. And first thing I have to do is set up that questionnaire. And I've already got one here. It's under Setup, Tutor Setup, and right here I've got Session Questionnaire Setup. Okay? So when I click on that, Basically, I'm going to enter questions, and then I'm going to enter answers, and I can put weighted values on those if I want to, which I'll discuss in a second. But basically, I've got was student prepared for session. I enter the question here. I obviously want it active, but if you have some you want to deactivate, you can. I make it required. That means that question has to be answered. And then I've got different values. So I've entered answers of yes, somewhat, no, not at all, a little bit. Okay, and then I have weighted values over here. Now the way those work is it gives an average. So let's say 15 tutors take the questionnaire. I can then run a report, say what is my average value for was student prepared. So if it's a 4, I know that's pretty high. If it's a 1, well then the students are really not prepared. Okay? And I can continue to add as many questions as I want here. And basically that's it. Now I can preview my questionnaire right here, and it's going to show me what it looks like. So I've got was student prepared with my answers, that's required. Second one is required, etc. Now the last one I said on a scale from 1 to 4, how would you rate the session, and that is not required. Okay? So that looks good. And again, typically I would sign in as a tutor. I believe this is Cindy Bright. Now I could log in as staff. The difference between login and staff and session log, well, login as staff is I'm coming into work. It's going to start tracking my work hours. But let's just say I want to come in and take some session notes. Well, I could do that without logging in, just by going right to my session log. And I logged in as Cindy Bright this time, so I'm seeing Cindy Bright tutor. And looks like I have comments on both of in my session notes. But now I do the session questionnaire here, and it pops up the one I just created. And that's basically it. So I've done my session questionnaire. It remembers the answers that I gave from before. So that you would direct your tutors to go in and take their session notes and fill out the session questionnaire. And once they've done that, as an administrator, you'd go in and run the reports to see that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I go to my reports, under tutor, I have several reports, 3 in particular that I care about now. Session log, session questionnaire summary. So for instance, session log is just going to show me the notes that I've taken. And here they are. And again, if you want to, you can email these right from the report here. So if I do email report as PDF, I can do that right here on the fly. Session questionnaire. Now this one actually shows the questionnaire answers, but it also shows the notes. So it's kind of a combination.
Are you working?
Well, I'm listening to a webinar.
So here's Chet and Arlington. This is the notes that I took in the session log. Session notes, and then here's the answers to the session questionnaire. So I have that for each student that the tutor has filled that out for. Okay? Now these are sortable as well. Anytime you see anything that has an order by here, so that was based on student, but let's say I really would like to see the activity first. So I can drag that up to the top and show the report again. And now it's showing Mike Smith's. It's obviously not sorting on student, but it's sorting on activity. So I have ATV, PCOS, Advanced College Reading, Advanced Visual Basic, etc. Okay? Now you can obviously export this data right to Excel if you want to, and it would just put it in that format. You can subsort, so in this case I don't have a lot of records, but I could say I want to see task, then activity, then student, then login time. So it'll do subsorts that way. Okay, now we were talking about that email report to instructor. I think CY had mentioned that, but I think it's important for us to know how we get that information. Okay, when you do a sign-in, remember the student can pick different things, one of which is show instructors box. Okay, so when the student signs in to, let's say, Visual Basic activity, the tutors that are, remember instructors, not tutors. Instructors are professors that teach a course. So that would be the student would pick, well, I'm Advanced Visual Basic with Professor Johnson. Okay. Now Professor Johnson is in two places. Okay. He's the instructor, so we'd add him here with his email, but we'd also tie him to the activity. Okay. So if I look at my activities, Advanced Visual Basic, right here is where I tie my instructors in. So what I'm saying is I have this course out there, Advanced Visual Basic. I have 3 different professors that teach that course. When the student signs in, I want them to pick the professors that they have the course with. Okay, once I've collected that information, then when the tutor goes in and takes session notes, fills out the session questionnaire, then you can email. It will email to the instructor that was selected at the time the student signed in for the activity. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, now the next thing we're going to discuss is probably some of you have seen on the way out of AccuTrack, you'll get some pop-up surveys that come up. There are 2 different kinds of surveys that you can build that way, and those are the activity feedback survey and the tutor evaluation survey. So I'm going to turn it back over to CY to show you guys, so he can show you guys that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So next we're going to talk about surveys. Okay. With AccuTrack, there are 2 different kinds of surveys. One is for the activity, and the other one is for the for tutors. All right. So in order to turn them on, you will need to go to always go to under Setup, go to Options, and on the left-hand side you'll see a feedback note here. All right. If you click on it, you have choice to to select when you want the surveys to pop up. Where you have a choice of assign out, assign in, or only at the in the student path. The student path on the main sign screen is an optional button there. So let's say we're going to choose assign out. Normally, you get a survey when your students sign out. So we're going to pick sign out and save it. Okay, and again, we have 2 different surveys. So if you would like to, collect activity feedback, from your students, you go here, click on activity feedback, and check on the first one, collect students' feedback on activities. After, you have a choice to choose how often that you want the survey pops up. One means, every single time. When your students sign out from one of those activities. Second will be like every other time, etc. You have 3, 4, things like that. So let's say now we're gonna have it every single time, okay? And you also have a choice like do not collect students' feedback on first visit. It's very self-explanatory. If you have that check, it's not gonna pop up the first time. All right. Also, you have choice to have the survey pop up, during a certain period, specific period. Let's say if you want to have the survey pop up from today to September 5th, okay? The survey will only pop up in between these dates. And you also have a choice to, only show once per students in specific period, okay? If you have that check, it's only going to pop up once for per activity per student, okay? So let's say that we're gonna have this chat for every single time, and we're gonna have all these activities associated with the survey. We're gonna have the survey popped up for any one of those activities. If you don't want to have a survey, you don't want to have an activity feedback, for let's say apply psychology, you can just move that activity to the right column. It will not pop up a survey for this psychology class, but everything else. Okay, so let's just save it. Okay, this is just the setting for the activity feedback. And if you would like to connect tutor feedback, from your students, you will need to click on tutor feedback. Pretty much the same settings. Connect the students' feedback. How often you want to. That's new that's different from the activity This one is like counted as a meeting only if it's an appointment and student shows up. Okay, this is the feature for tutor feedback only. But the other two is pretty much the same. Do not connect students' feedback on first visit, and also you can choose a period, certain time to, have the survey, for the students for the tutor feedback. Okay, so let's save it for now. Okay, so we have the settings, pop up, survey pop up, as sign out when the students sign out. Okay. Also, you will need to predefine your questions by going to, setup, student setup, and feedback survey. By default, questions are already there, answers are already there. You'll be able to, define 10 different questions. Okay, if you click on, 1, you will see the first question. Click on 2, you will see another question. All right, and keep in mind that we have 2 different surveys. What we're looking at is the activity feedback survey. All right, so this is particular for the activity. If you would like to modify your questions and answers, for your tutor evaluation feedback, your tutor evaluation survey, you will need to click on tutor evaluation survey. All right, so make sure which one that you want to modify, and then start, clicking on the questions and modify the questions. And if you like to make sure you would like your students to, answer the questions, you can make the answer required, for, question 1. For question 2, make sure you save it, every time you change something. So let's say question 1, you want to make answer required, you're going to save it. Okay, question 2. Save it. So now go back to 1 and 2. They are all required, but not question 3. Okay? You can see that some other features here. This is the question preview section here. Okay? You can change the font. You can show. Question 3 it doesn't show. In the survey. Things like that. If you click on header, you'll be able to change the page header. You can change the name of the survey. You can type some instructions, okay, how, direct your students how to answer the questions or survey. All right. Text box, you can change, the text box header, something like that. Okay. Basically, that's how you define your questions, your answers here. Oh, if you need to, add some answers, just type here and then click on Add button, and that will do it. You can keep adding answers, here. Same thing for the tutor evaluation, same ideas. You click on the first question, you want to make that answer required, you check on that checkbox and save it. Change the fonts there, things like that. They're all about the same, for the activity feedback and the tutor evaluation survey. Okay. So let's say that we would like to, see the survey, how it works. So we're going to go back to our main sign-in screen, and then sign in as a student. Oh, I think we are.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh,
yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
That's the next thing we're going to show you.
Okay. Okay, so let's sign in as a Sheldon Arlington. Everything is good. Okay. Sign in. Oh, okay, Cindy Bright. Cool. Oh, that's another feature.
New in 12, yeah, where you can, it'll email, automatically email instructor reports.
Okay, so Sheldon Arlington is signed in. All right, so let's say Sheldon is done, with the tutor and the activity, and he would like to sign out now. So type in his ID, and there you go. He got a tutor evaluation feedback for Cindy Bright. Okay, since I didn't make any of those answers required, this student, Sheldon can actually skip all the, questions and click on done. but it's optional right now, so I don't have to answer every single one or any of them. I can just click on done. Okay, and then I will get to the activity feedback. Remember that I signed in, or Chad and signed in, to this activity, Advanced Visual Basic. So that's why it's popping up a survey for this particular activity. And you see that the first two questions are different color. You see that it's blue. That means they are required. So if I don't answer them, I wouldn't be able to sign out. Okay, so I will have to at least answer these two questions here. All right, and maybe I want to add some comments here. Thanks. Okay, and click on done, and that's it. I'm out. And I answered the two questions for the activity feedback. All right, I think that's about for the feedback, for the activity feedback and tutor feedback.
And remember, the difference between the two is the first ones we did with session log, session notes, session questionnaire. The tutor is collecting information about their experience with the student. The last ones we just looked at, activity feedback, tutor evaluation, the student is entering information about their experience either with the center, we call that activity feedback, but it could be, was the staff courteous, was the center clean? I mean, you define whatever you want it to be. And then the second one would be about the student's experience with the tutor. Okay? Now the next thing I'm going to show you here is Survey Manager, and we just caught a glimpse of that. But Survey Manager allows you to build more surveys on top of the ones we already have. Okay? So I'll take a look at this. Now I have one predefined that I built here. It's called Your Experience Here at the University. So I could edit that. Now this is good. I want you to see this. It says there are responses to this survey and thus it is not editable. What that means is once I've had this survey out there and people have started answering the questions, I can't then go change it because it would lose the association with the answers. So what I can do, let's say I want to use this same kind of survey. I can copy it to something new and see it says copy of your experience here at the university. But I could change that. To whatever I want. Okay, I put in the instructions, so fill out all the questions below, thank you. And again, I have questions and I have answers, but this one's slightly different here, okay? Now, I've got, as you can see the first one, are you happy with the help you have received? I've got yes, somewhat, or no, I am not happy. Okay, now I want you to look at where it says radio buttons here. Now, any of you ever filled out a form on the web know what a radio button is, the little round button that you select, and you can only pick one at a time. So in this case, they could only answer yes, somewhat, or no, I'm not happy. So that's defined as a radio button. The next one I have is, what do you like about college? Check all that apply. Well, I've got classes, friends, being away from home, parties, other, and that is a checkbox type, so they can select multiple values. Okay. Next one is, do you think you will graduate? That is a list or a combo box. Okay, a combo box is like a drop-down box. Okay, and I've got yes, absolutely, maybe, or it is not looking good. So they would pick one of those values. And you can see I've also put weighted values, so I can do the same kind of reports. And then I've got a text box that just says, please let us know about anything else on your mind. Okay, now I can preview that survey here, and it'll show me what it looks like. So there's my required, not required with the check boxes. These are radio buttons, my drop-down box, and my text box. Okay? And it won't let me get out until I answer something. I'm only previewing. Okay, so I'm going to save and exit, and now I've got your experience here. So that survey is now out there waiting, but the next step of the process is to publish the survey. Okay? Now what I do is I'll add one here, and then I'm going to click on my survey title. This is a little odd why it works like this, I couldn't tell you, but I've got a little box here where I would go pick my survey title, and I'm going to pick this one, select and return. Okay, now this one's slightly different. We don't have quite as many rules about when it runs. Does it run every other time? Does it run the first time? Does it run for specific activities. None of that is available here. It's basically, it runs from a period to a period. Okay? So I'm going to say, well, I want this to go till, say, September 5th. I do have the option to present it to students and or tutors. And if I wanted to, I could even pick specific students or specific tutors to present it to. And this box was checked before. I said present at sign in. So they'll get this before they go in and pick the activity and the tutor and instructor, etc. Okay? So let's return to sign in here. And I'll sign in with a different student. So now, remember, I have two surveys. This is the one we just saw before. This is your experience here at the university, which is actually the one that I copied before. And now it's going to show your experience here. So basically, I've got it running two surveys back to back at sign-in now. Obviously these would have different values, but you can set up as many as you want to run. Okay? Now I would go about my normal signing in process. Pick my tutor. There's Morgan in the 70s. Sign in, and if I want to, I could, in this case, well, it's Tutor Learning Center, so I don't really want to send, that's not an instructor. I'll say no. And Teresa Phillips is signed in. Okay, now Teresa Phillips signs out. She gets the tutor evaluation survey for Morgan Freeman, and she gets the feedback on American government. Okay? So we can really inundate them with surveys if we want to. Okay, Teresa is out. Now, what would happen next? Well, Morgan Freeman hopefully would go in and then create session logs. Oh, if I could type it right. So Morgan goes and looks at his experience with Teresa. He adds a comment. What a great student. Now that is, the tutor was Tutor Learning Center. So that's just a generic sort of tutor I've defined. So I wouldn't email a comment to them. But I could do a session questionnaire. And I've saved. So basically I went through the whole process. I signed in as a student. I had two surveys that popped up. I picked my category and activity. I picked the instructor. It asked me if I wanted to email the instructor that information. I signed in. I had the visit with the tutor. When I signed out, it gave me a tutor evaluation survey and an activity survey. Okay? And again, everything's reportable. If I wanted to go run my reports, I could see all that stuff. And I think that's under tutor, isn't it? Or feedback, I'm sorry. Oh, I've got both, right? I was doing these, which we already saw, the session note and questionnaire. But here's the one I just did with my feedback. So here's my activity comments, ratings, etc., etc. So they're doing a great job in the center, thanks. And this is, again, activity comments. So it's based on the activity. Category was tutoring. Activity ratings. So what I'm seeing here are weighted values, and I don't have any weights set up, so it's not making a lot of sense. But if I did, oh, here's one. Okay, so I've got weight 3, weight 4. I'd have to go through and look at what this is doing. This one might be better to see in Excel, actually. Tutor evaluation comments. So these are the other two. We had activity reports, and now we have the tutor reports, remember, from the student. So this is what the student has said about Cindy in this case. Okay. Now these are the questions, right? So we're seeing the tutor evaluation questions that were answered by the student. Okay. All right, and if you have questions about any of this, we can certainly answer them at the end. We've only got one more major topic to cover, and that's seminars. Okay, now a seminar typically is a special one-time event that you have in your center that you would like students to be able to register for. And then basically what happens, they register for the seminar, it signs them up. There's a seat count that it keeps track of. So let's say you have 30 people, the max capacity. Each time there's a registration, that count will go down, and once it hits 0, it won't allow any more registrations. There's a registration period, and it will automatically send out a registration reminder for any students that have signed up for the seminar. Okay, and I go to that right under, let's see here, seminars. There it is. And I've got two options, modify seminar, seminar status. Now, just to let you know, a couple of things that I want to mention before I forget is the feedback that we saw. Remember the activity and tutor feedback? We have a new feature now in Computer Lab plugin that allows those surveys to run through the Computer Lab. So we had a request for that for some colleges. So that's just basically a little plug-in piece of software that sits there. Students go sit down at a Computer Lab computer, and they sign in, and unlocks the computer, lets them use it, and then they sign out, and it waits for the next student. But we can pop up surveys that will appear on those screens too. The other thing is in AccuSQL, which some of you may or may not have seen, but that's basically a web-based appointment scheduler, another add-on. We're supporting seminar registrations now through AccuSQL. So students will be able to sign up for those events at your center right via the web browser. Okay. All right, here's my modify surveys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean surveys, did I? I meant seminars. Modify seminars, excuse me. Okay, and I've got a couple of here. I've got Summer Technology Job Fair, Understanding Student Loans. If I want to add a new one, I could do it. It's very simple, though. The title, when is the cutoff date that I'm going to allow students to register for the seminar? Right here. When does it start? When does it end? I can close it if I want to just basically shut it down where nobody else signs up. Here's my capacity, the location, the presenter, and the description of the seminar. Okay? So as you can see, this one ends on the 30th. It happens on the 31st between 9 and 11:30. This one ends on September 9th. It runs from the 10th at 1 p.m. till the 10th at 2 p.m. With a capacity of 30. Okay? So via AccuTrack, the way students would sign up for seminars is either through the student pad or by turning on the seminar sign up button. So if I click on that, for instance, I enter my student ID, and there's the two seminars that are available to me. Okay? Now, the first one has a checkbox that says registered, so the student has already signed up for that particular seminar. If I tried to register again, it would say already registered. However, I could drop it here. Let's say I've changed my mind. I don't want to register, so it'll take it away. And watch my seat count here. For instance, I've got 28. Remember, it was capacity 30, so that means 2 people have already signed up for the seminar. I'm going to register now. Now the seat count is 27. Okay? So that's really about it. And let me go back and show you real quick here. Seminars. Okay, so now I'm looking at my seminar status, and what this basically tells me are what seminars I have and who signed up for them. So my Summer Technology Job Fair, well, nobody signed up for that yet, but my Understanding Student Loans, well, I've got 2 sign-ups. I've got 28 left, I guess. Okay. So that's basically it. I mean, I create the seminar, the students sign up for the seminars, and then I check the seminar status. And of course, I always have reports, just like with everything. So I've got seminar registrations, and I've got seminar statistics. Well, I'm supposed to. Looks like we just found an error there. Siwa, can you write that down? Seminar statistics. Okay, well that's good. We found an error, so we're going to fix that one. Yeah, it's not very happy with that, is it? Okay. And you guys have probably seen some of these yourself. If you do, I hope you know the process of reporting a bug. And the way you do that is you could just email us right here at support@engineerica.com, support@AccuTrack.org, or you can just call us and say, hey, I was clicking on this seminar statistics screen and I got an error message. So that's, when we get version numbers, any of you that are on 11, we're on 11.0.6. Well, we started at 11.0.0. So that's how it got up to 06, is you guys report what you find, we fix them, and then we send out an update. Okay. Okay, so that pretty much gets us through the topics. What I'd like to do now, let's see if anybody's asked questions in the chat window. And I'll go ahead and open it up to questions if anybody wants to ask us questions. Okay, now let's start with the questions that have been typed in the chat window. I have something from Sharon that says, is there an extra cost for the seminar sign-up pad? No, absolutely not. It's built right into it. Now, what I did talk about was seminar registrations via the web, and that is an add-on piece. That would there's a little cost added with that, but that's basically to allow people to just go on the internet and register for seminars. So that's for appointment scheduling via the web and seminar registrations via the web. But if you want to run it through AccuTrack, no, it's built right into it. Okay, I have Roderick has a question. It says, David, at the end, can you tell or let me know if there's an appointment for the iPad or app for the iPad, I'm sorry, if we want students to sign in and out on the iPad as well as do the evaluations? Actually, that's a great question, and CY, correct me if I'm wrong, but the answer is not yet. We do that with Accudemia, which is an online, basically it's a version of AccuTrack that is entirely web-based. However, we've had a lot of requests for that, and we are going to implement that in our regular AccuTrack and AccuSQL. Right. So coming soon, I guess, is the answer to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, if you have an Accudemia account with that tracking systems, you can actually run it on the iPad.
And
so it's web-based,
right.
So you can have the survey pop up for your students if you are using an Accudemia product.
Right, and the way that's going to work, basically, with like a sign-in, I mean, that's part of what an iPad would do. I don't know if any of you may remember we had something called Roll Caller. But the iPad app is a way to replace that, and that's just for doing things when you're not connected to AccuTrack. For instance, I'm at Starbucks, and I've got a group of students. I'm a tutor. I've got a group of students there. They would sign into my iPad, and then later I would upload that to AccuTrack. I would we sync it basically with AccuTrack. So it takes all that information and automatically uploads it into the application. And that would be the same with seminars. So students want to register for a seminar via the iPad, then later you get it in the proximity of a Wi-Fi, and it'll automatically sync with AccuTrack. Okay, and that's all I had in... oh, I'm sorry, I have one more.
You mentioned AccuSQL. When was it released?
Okay, yeah, we're talking about AccuSQL, and I might have AccuSQL running, huh?
No.
Let's see if I think I've got one running on a server here. Is it 101?
101 is chat, right?
I think it is chat. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and to answer your question while this is loading, AccuSQL, I believe, was for AccuTrack 11 is when it started. Is that right?
It was like in the middle of AccuTrack 11, but we had a web link before.
Right.
AccuSQL is substitution.
Yeah, we've had it for, I don't know, a year and a half or so. It was supported on later versions of 11 and also 12. And we used to have a product that was really clunky that we called WebLink that accomplished the same thing. It was just a lot uglier and a lot harder to configure. So we just decided to get rid of that entirely and go with this AccuSQL, which is a whole lot friendlier, easy to use. It's based on Silverlight, Microsoft Silverlight, so it's got a nice little look. But basically, it's just a way to do appointment scheduling or seminar registration via the web.
And all you need to have is IIS 7.NET 4.0 Silverlight, and it will just run AccuSQL. Of course, you will need to purchase AccuTrack software.
Okay, now you might be wondering, and I should have checked this, why do I not see any seminars? Well, it's a simple reason, because I'm pointing to a different database here. Okay. So I'm not seeing my seminars because my database is somewhere different than the one I'm running AccuTrack on here. But it's just basically the same kind of thing, you know. I sign up for seminars, I register for appointments via the web. So then it's basically, oh, I've already got something with a different tutor, so it's going to check that. But that's all it's for. Okay? So what that would do, and I'm sorry, I can change databases. I'd have to go over to the server to change that. But I would do the same thing here. And remember, it's just a different way of doing the same thing. So if I was going to go to Appointment Scheduler, I could schedule an appointment here. Well, the web does the same thing. If I sign up for a seminar with AccuTrack, I can do the same thing. The only difference is I don't have to walk all the way down to the tutoring center and go log into AccuTrack and sign up for a seminar, enter my ID. You know, basically it just makes it easier where you don't have to physically go to the location. Okay? Hopefully that answered your question.
I asked the question. Why they didn't have it before when we first implemented it? I wanted to know when. Just a year and a half ago. A year ago, half ago in the past.
Okay, was that a question for us?
No, it was just in.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, because we couldn't hear you very well. Okay. Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Roger, do you have tables and everything for tomorrow? On beach. No, that's what I'm here for. Tell me where you're putting everything. You got Tuesday and where to bring food. What y'all gonna have out? Do I need to get you some long tables? What I need?
Well, walk out there with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk out here with you. I don't want to be looking like
Okay, well, what I would say then, you know, I would encourage you to go, you know, get your feedback collection, set that up, and give it a shot. I mean, you know, it's certainly worth looking at. Anything you can collect is better for your center, right? And if you're having trouble along the way, I know I go awfully fast here because we only have an hour, but if you're in there setting it up and say, well, how did he do this? How did he set those rules for tutor evaluation? Any of that stuff, just give us a call here, and we're more than happy to you know, slow it down and show you exactly what we're doing. We're just kind of basically showing you what the features are to make sure you know they're available. But once you're in the middle of setting it up, if you have questions, you can most certainly call us here.
David, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is there a way to set it up so that the tutors can enter their feedback online, like on the internet, or does it have to be like on one of our computers where AccuTrack is installed?
That's a great question. At this point, the only two things that we support for would be AccuTrack and Computer Lab plugin. So the short answer is if they wanted to collect feedback or enter feedback information, probably their best bet would be just install AccuTrack maybe on a laptop or something like that. But you're right. At this point, they would have to have AccuTrack installed in order to do that.
And that AccuTrack would have to be linked to our system, like through a network, not through the internet.
Yeah, I mean, there's various things that you could look at, but yeah, I mean that is true. That is true. You know, they could do something like VPN in, or if you had a remote connection to the SQL Server database, you could do it that way. So there are various ways to do that. But out of the box, you're right. It would be, they would have to be connected in some capacity. I mean, if it's Wi-Fi and they're connected to a remote database connection, that would work.
Okay. Is that something you're going to look at? I asked because we're thinking, you know, at some point we'd like to have our tutors be online or something like that, so it would be nice if they could have access to AccuTrack, and our students could have access to AccuTrack to sign in.
Okay, via the web?
Yeah.
You know, to tell you the truth, I mean, certainly we'll make note of that and discuss it, but what we kind of decided to go with, because we had sort of a differentiation of what people wanted. We had your people that wanted your basic client server kind of thing, you know, like we're seeing here with an application installed at the sign-in stations, which is more AccuTrack. But then we have a totally web-based product where we went away from, you know, everything's browser-based, and that's Academia.
Academia, okay.
Yeah, it's just academia.net if you wanted to look at that. Now, you know, if you decide that's a better option for you, you know, I'm not a salesperson, but I'm sure whatever you've done with AccuTrack could be credited in some capacity if you decided you wanted to go Academia.
Okay, that helps though to know that's available. Okay, great.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, if you just type in academia.net, and actually if you want to play around with it, I don't know, who are you working with, Mary?
I'm at Lone Star College.
Okay, but I mean, do you know who your sales rep was here? Was it Mary?
No, I don't know. I'm Mary.
Okay, well it doesn't matter, but I mean we can set you up with a trial account if you want to play with it, you know.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. Can I get your, would I just email you about that?
Yeah, sure. Just send it to, actually just support, S-U-P-P-O-R-T, at Engineerica, which is engineer with an I-C-A on the end, .com.
Okay, and ask for a trial of Academia.
Yeah, just say you're interested in seeing Academia, and we can set you up and let you go in and play with it.
Yeah, or you can just go to their website, you know, academia.net, and then there's a link that you can click on and fill your information, and just saying that you're interested in the free demo or something like that, or free trial.
Oh, okay.
You know, things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just email us. We'll take care of it. Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, and I know you've already signed up. Obviously, you wouldn't be here if you didn't sign up for those other webinars at AccuSQL.com, but we've got some coming up in the future. And I would encourage you, actually, we've got about 3 or 4 more topics, one of which I want to do is, you know, show you what's new in 12. But if you have a suggestion for a different webinar, please send that to us, because I'm wanting to grow the list for what we show you in the future. So we'll take a look at that, but more to come.
Yeah, please.
Where are those listed?
What's that?
Where are they listed?
Oh, okay, sure. Oops, I think was that a web browser? No. Oh, Safari. Hold on. I don't know why we have Safari.
Yeah, while they were typing, so if you have any questions or comments or feedback or like some features that you would like to see or you would like to learn, so please email it to support@engineerica.com, please.
So this is our AccuSQL site. So I just went out to www.AccuSQL.com, and if I click on support here, then I've got my third item is webinar sign up. So this is the ones without the boxes we just covered. We just did this one today. I've got media checkouts, setting up for a new, oh look, I'm a winner. Setting up for a new semester, and we're going to add some more topics here. But if you want to see a particular topic, you can just, yeah, right here. If you have a suggestion for a future webinar topic, send it to us. So that, you know, that's just basically going to send us an email. So proposed AccuTrack AccuSQL webinar topic.
Great, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, well, if that's it, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch the webinar. We look forward to showing them to you. And last time, I don't know if anybody was on, but I had I think it was appointment scheduling webinar that I forgot to record. But this one we did record. So if you go out to YouTube, YouTube.com, and if I just type in AccuTrack webinar.
I don't think so, but
Okay, this is going to show all of the webinar. We're putting them all up on YouTube. So I've got a 3-parter on reporting. I've got one all about sign-ins, the appointment one that I need to re-record, and then I'll put the one from today up as well. So we'll continue to grow this list. There's actually some other ones in here, too, that aren't related to webinars that you can take a look. Okay? Okay, well, thank you all very much. And, you know, any questions, just give us a call or an email here. We're more than happy to help.
All right. Thank you, David.
Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
And you too. Bye.
Okay, bye.